time from Michael Roach. In the second, the Tigers drew away, helped by Michael Pickering's marking. Richmond's Western Australian half-forwards Michael Mitchell and Peter Wilson were a handful for the Swans defenders. Up forward, the goalposts were standing in the way of any Sydney attempt at a comeback. But Wilson didn't suffer the same inaccuracy and kept the Tigers' momentum going. The last quarter was déjà vu for Richmond. For the second week running, the Tigers squandered a winning lead as the Swans, led by Warwick Kappa with 7 goals, stormed home. The Swans kicked 8 goals to 1 in the final quarter, and Richmond coach Tony Jewell looked understandably distraught about his team's inability to go the distance.
Well, despite leading throughout, the Tigers had victories snatched away in the last quarter. Kappa kicked 7 and Mitchell 4 for the Swans. Roach and Wilson booted 4 each for Richmond, and Dale Waitman is to face the tribunal on a striking charge. Collingwood ran out 4-point winners over Footscray despite trailing by 23 points at half-time. Taylor kicked 4 for the Magpies and McGuinness 4 for the Bulldogs. Geelong handed out a hiding to Fitzroy at Cardinia Park. They won by 75 points. Turner and Lindner each kicked 7 goals for the Cats, and Brownless booted 6. Conlon finished with 4 for the Lions. Their big win today has lifted Carlton to the top of the ladder, ahead of Sydney on percentage and a game clear of Hawthorn, Geelong and Fitzroy. The Bombers and North are just outside on percentage. There are 4 teams on 8 points, with Richmond, St Kilda and Footscray on 4 points. Both Melbourne and Brisbane will have a chance to move into the 5 when they play at Carrara tomorrow. Tony Lockett and Warwick Kappa are joint leaders on the goal-kicking table with 27. For the 3rd week running, Bruce Lindner kicked a bag to move to 20, one ahead of his Geelong teammate Mick Turner. In footy bet, the big payouts continue this week. The lowest return was a $5.05 result for Collingwood's narrow win over Footscray. The highest payout just short of $30 for the Cats' big win. In the double, it was 5 and 1 for a dividend of $140.90. And there's no point in checking the quaddy numbers because no one got it. The big prize money will jackpot. Former Kiwi stayer Major Drive lowered the star 3-year-old Mayo Card's colours in today's Sydney Cup, but the youngster lost no admirers with his gutsy second. Mayo Card had won the Derby, the Rawson and the Tancred Stakes before today, and many thought he was a certainty in the Cup.
Out-of-siders poised to make a challenge, then Lord Reams. Now here's Mayo Card coming at them on the outside. The rider getting anxious on Rising Fear, and Mayo Card has quickly raced to the lead from Rising Fear. Out of sight, Major Driver's coming after Mayo Card. The rider calling on Mayo Card, pulls the whip. Major Driver's getting up to it on the outside. Major Drive doing a bit better than Mayo Card. Mayo Card fighting back, but Major Drive hit the lead, and Major Drive beat Mayo Card. Fox Seal flashed into 3rd prize. Then Rising Fear out of sight.
Greg Hall and John Mark combining with the good stayer Major Drive to win the Sydney Cup at 7 to 1. Mayo Card was 13 to 8 on. He had more than weight for age. It was a good run, and Fox Seal 3rd at 20 to 1. The quadrella in Sydney, 1, 3, 5 and 1 paid $117 even, and the daily double 3 and 5, $11.15. At Flemington, Bart Cummings and Darren Gauci combined to win the St Ledger with the promising stayer Sharksfin. And Michael Clark rode a double and is just 6 winners short of breaking Roy Higgins' long-standing riding record of 75 winners in a season. In the first, it was Sing for Supper again.
My Hutch can't go on and further back as Lapsang, but Sing for Supper's gone further ahead, the Flemington specialist. Past the 200, he's 8 lengths to Wild Native. Skyros battling out 3rd with My Hutch and Lapsang, but Sing for Supper's going to win again. Sing for Supper takes the William Newton steeplechase. He scores by about 8 or 10 lengths to Wild Native. Third's a great photo between My Hutch and
Sing for Supper's won his last 3 starts at Flemington. He started the good price at 4 to 1 today. Please Yourself was favourite in the second after Corral was scratched at the barrier.
Of Please Yourself. In 3rd placing, Damsel from Sean's Sister and Mercy Rain, but Dame Vengeance still well clear at the 100-metre mark from Damsel going to 2nd, and Dame Vengeance is going on to win well. Dame Vengeance by 3. 2nd home is Damsel, and 3rd came just behind these.
Dame Vengeance led nearly all of the way to score her 3rd Flemington win. In the next, Cindy's Appeal and Michael Clark 7 to 4.
By 2 or 3 lengths to Centaur and Spending. Cindy's Appeal's in front past 100, a length and a half clear. Spending raises another effort, but the leader is Cindy's Appeal near the post and gets home. Cindy's Appeal a length and a quarter to Spending, and third on the outside Centaur from Sarah.
That's the first of a double for Michael Clark. Cindy's Appeal starting 7-4, and Clark was on Hallstrong in the fourth.
Side end, Codicil, Hallstrong coming at them. Order up the centre. Hallstrong's going home the best on the outside. Hallstrong raced up to Order Up in the shadows, and Hallstrong's got up to win by a head to Order Up. Third, Codicil from B and Jolie, and then
Hallstrong was 13-2, Order Up 33s, and Codicil also at 33-1. The St Ledger and Sir Fawn 2-1 favourite.
250 to go with Sir Fawn to race clear. Third placing held by Warren. Shark's Fin on the outside, about a head in front of Sir Fawn, fighting back. Shark's Fin and Sir Fawn. Shark's Fin's doing a bit better on the outside and draws clear. Shark's Fin, St Ledger wins 3/4 to Sir Fawn. Cool Rocking Daddy third in front of Warren.
Despite an advantage at the weights, Shark's Fin got the money at 9-1. Sir Fawn 2-1 favourite. Cool Rocking Daddy was 9-1, and Beatrice Levitt a disappointing favourite the next.
Starts to draw clear and will win by a length to Opalescent. Third, Cooktown Lady from Missenden Rose, and a gap in the field to Beatrice Levitt, which failed to run on. With her then...
Didn't get much of that, but it was Besterberg at 9-2, taking out race 6. And the favourite in the next was Bicentenary.
Then Royal Bistro. Zarsborough starting to get the Kale with about 150 to go. Zarsborough has put its head in front of Kale. Bicentenary with a late run from Royal Bistro, but Zarsborough's punched out, goes on to win. Zarsborough's first. Bicentenary might have got up to get second in front of Kale. Then came...
The long price winner of the day, Zarsborough's at 33s, Bicentenary 11-4, and Kale at 6-1. Aquilone favourite the last.
Going all right as he cruised up on the outside at the 200, and then Fulham Pass and Dynamic Dancer. Aquilone the leader, he's got away now, he's about a length and a half in front of Fulham Pass. Bailiwick getting a run through, but Aquilone's nicely clear near the post, and Aquilone's going on to win the last by about a length and a half to Fulham Pass. Third is Bailiwick, and then Dynamic.
And that only the second favourite to win all day. Aquilone at 10-9, never really going to be beaten, defeating the 200-1 shot Fulham Pass and Bailiwick. The quadrilla today, 8-2-2-4, $4,026.85. And a big dividend in the double, 2 and 15, $301.60. In Adelaide, 12 and 1 returned $27.10. At Doomben, 3 and 7 netted $35.40. The Moe quadrilla, $572.95 for 1, 2, 7 and 3, and the daily double for 1 and 7, $103.75. Competition has begun in the National Basketball League. In opening matches last night, the North Melbourne Giants held off the Hobart Cascade Devils, and the Brisbane Bullets easily accounted for the Sydney West Stars. Tonight, the Sydney Supersonics play their first match of the season against the East Side Billabong Spectres.
Dressed in blue, the Brisbane Bullets came to Sydney last night to take on the West Stars, and the player who separated the two teams was Brisbane's Leroy Loggins. Shots like these kept the Bullets ahead, and the West Stars were forced into a chase pattern. And although they did close the gap at one stage, Brisbane won it comfortably 97-83. Meanwhile, the Supersonics begin their season tonight against the newly named Billabong Spectres. The Sonics easily accounted for the Melbourne team in the pre-season round robin, and heading their charge is 2.1 metre tall centre Derek the Dot Polk. Derek's in his second season with the Sonics, and his good nature and flair has made sure the team will be competitive this season.
Last year we had a bunch of stars, but this year's team we don't have any superstars. We just have a bunch of guys, a young team, a scrapping team, a team that nobody can underestimate us at all, and we're an underdog team. Everybody expects us to finish last, but this team, you cannot underestimate us.
The Sonics should win tonight, but going on the pre-season, it'll be the Brisbane Bullets, the Adelaide 36ers and the Perth Wildcats fighting out this year's competition.
And that's all in sport for tonight, so it's over to him for the weather.
Well, I know you're a betting man, Greg, but were you playing two-up out in the car park when you arrived tonight? I saw you bending down with a bunch of people there.
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Right, we'll just pick up those 20-cent pieces while I read the weather. Whether you're two up or two down, it's been a perfect autumn day, and if you like the burst of warmth, it'll be even warmer tomorrow. The details in a moment, but first our usual look at today's temperatures, and most of them were between 19 and 26 degrees, helped along by a moderate north to northwesterly wind. Now, Mildura did one better with 27, while at Mount Buller the mercury could manage no more than 11 degrees. Melbourne's top of 25 followed an overnight low of 9. In the main centres today, Adelaide was one of the warmest with 29, and there was rain in Brisbane. The main point of interest on the satellite chart is cloud associated with a cold front southwest of us, and we'll have some high-level cloud over our territory during tomorrow. And we're under the influence again. Nothing to do with those Anzac reunions, but because of the high now centred east of New South Wales. And you can see the front, which tomorrow morning will move further south and weaken. But combined with the one behind it, will bring some showers on Monday. It will be more windy tomorrow, although quite sunny. In the main centres, some more showers in Brisbane, cloudy in Hobart, and touching 30 degrees in Adelaide. Now to the forecasts, and for southern New South Wales, early fog patches, then a fine, warm and sunny day with a northerly wind. There are no warnings tonight, not that we wanted any, but for Victoria, fine apart from early fog patches in the east, a warm day with a northerly wind freshening and cloud developing in the southwest later with a slight to moderate sea. For the bays, northerly winds of around 10 knots, freshening to 15 to 20 knots tomorrow, and a slight sea, rising choppy to rather rough. There's the forecast for Melbourne. Couldn't be better. Fine, warm and sunny with a northerly wind freshening, an overnight low of 11 and a top of 26 degrees. Melbourne's extended outlook, Monday a change developing, a shower or two, a maximum of about 20 degrees. Tuesday mostly fine, a top of about 18, and Wednesday fine again with a temperature of around 20 degrees. Now, summarising tonight's main stories, and more than 120,000 Australian veterans of 4 wars marched through cities and towns and took part in services to remember fallen comrades on this 72nd anniversary of Gallipoli. The Sri Lankan government has suspended a planned 4th day of air attacks, but is continuing ground assaults on Tamil strongholds as thousands of villagers flee south with just essential belongings. And in South Africa, media freedom to report political unrest may be short-lived. The government's given notice it'll appeal against a Supreme Court decision which overturned key clauses in the country's censorship rules. And that's ABC News on this Anzac Day. Our late TV bulletin at 10 o'clock, and don't forget we'll have news updates as usual on the hour on ABC Radio. And I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night at 7. Until then, a very good night.